Hi all, welcome back to Soul's Journey. Today I am doing a VR to Liz at StarTarot of black and white decks in my collection. So I've just got my little statue here so you can see it's not just a blank screen. There's actually going to be something here in a minute. So when I first saw Liz's video, I was thinking, oh, that would be fun, and I started trying to think of what black and white decks I had, and I was thinking, well, I can only think of a couple of them off the top of my head. I thought, well, that won't take long. And then I started going through my list, and lo and behold, I have a lot more black and white decks than I thought. So I'm going to start with two that we've seen very recently. The Tarot Film Noir. And if you did not catch this, it was featured in my Bad Indie decks, which I will put a card to up here in the corner and link below as well. This is really hard to photograph because it's so dark. It's just it's so badly done. The reproduction of the images is just so poor. It's like you cut pictures out of a newspaper, you know, how bad they look, or they used to look. So anyway, I'll spare you a full walkthrough since I just did that recently. It's a not cute, but it was a very interesting concept. Unfortunate execution. And then this one was the Revelation Tarot by Jonna Hope Williams. Also featured in the badly done indie decks because of this terrible lamination. I mean, it's not like you could read with it. I mean, I guess you could like pull a card for the day, but definitely not a readable deck. And I was so annoyed when I got the deck that I never even read through the book. But she ties it to yoga. General tips for preparing to lay out cards. Yeah, I don't even, and then yoga and the tarot. Chakra, tarot. It's a majors only deck, but if you want to see the full thing, like I said, check out my video, Bad Indie Decks. And like I said, I will put a link to it down below. And this is one of my more recent acquisitions in the black and white category. This is the Arcana Tarot playing cards from a company called Dead on Paper. Very interesting opening. Excuse me. Blue foil inside the box. Real pretty. That's just... You get a couple of extra cards. Oh, looks like I've shuffled it. So everything's out of order. This is beautifully done, like line art. So they are pips, but it does also have majors. And then you get your king and the page. The aces are more decorative. And I have done a full walkthrough of this as well. Excuse me. As you can see, the art is really excellent. I just got that late last year, so I think that's still available. I know they ran a sale on it right around Christmas, so if you want to hold out for Christmas again and see if they, or just keep an eye on their website in case they decide to run any other sales. I think it was like $35, but it should still be available if you're interested. So, very pretty. I like it a lot. And then I have the Hermetic Tarot by Godfrey Dowson. This is the 1980 version. This is one of my eBay acquisitions. I have to keep picking the cards up. And this is all obviously Hermetic and Kabbalah. Fool is the spirit of ether. Magician is the magus of power. High priestess is priestess of the silver star. So this is a really interesting deck. And the book that comes with it was done by James Wasserman, who also did the Little White books for some of the versions, at least, of the Thoth deck. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Everybody says Thoth, but I think it's actually Toth. Children of the Voice Divine is the Lovers. That's a really interesting card. So I'll go through all that just now. It has been reprinted. It was out of print for a long time, and then they reprinted it, although I think I heard something that there were some errors on the cards, on the new cards. I don't know about that. That's just rumor. I don't have the new one, and I'm not really up on Hermetic beliefs and whatnot. But good little white book, as those things go. I've never actually read with it because I'm not really into Kabbalah, and so a lot of it's kind of lost on me, but such an interesting deck. And then I've got the Brotherhood of Light tarot cards. Kind of hard to see. I bought this used, another one used off eBay, put out by the Church of Light in Los Angeles. No reproduction allowed, but except by permission of the Church of Light. And hang on just a sec. Okay, so the Brotherhood of Light was established in Los Angeles in 1915 by Albert Benjamin, also known as C.C. Zane, born Benjamin Parker Williams. So you can look up more on him. Let's see, so their mission is to teach, practice, and disseminate the religion of the stars, a way of life for the Aquarian age, as set forth in the writings of C.C. Zane. The church is a continuation of an initiatic organization, the Brotherhood of Light, which was established in 1915. So I know this has been reprinted now in color, but this is the original black and white, or actually almost kind of a gray and white. I don't know why this looks so dark. Ugh. But there's a lot of astrology incorporated in it. We got the Hebrew letters. This is a very interesting deck. And it's beautiful artwork. I don't know how many people are members of this church these days. I did look them up a while back, and I think they still have like online courses you can do. So I'm pretty sure they're still around. Very Egyptian themed also, as you can see. The minors are mostly pips, although they still have the stars in there. I haven't really dug into this deck. The court cards are a little more illustrated. Anyway, I just think it's a fascinating little deck. It's almost like a Udi's Picard minor. I don't know if the rest of them... That's an interesting little deck. This one did not come with any kind of little white book. I don't know if one was ever included with it. It doesn't feel like it the way the cards fit into the box. So I assume you were supposed to sign up for their classes. I think you can still find copies of this probably floating around on eBay if nowhere else. Okay. And then I have this old thing by Michael Gepford and Brian Williams, the late Brian Williams. And I never really used this either because it has a really heavy chemical smell to it. Oops, come out of there. Alright, whatever. Oh, they're all out of order. Well, and it's a very large deck, much larger than, like, here's the little Church of Light deck next to it. The Church of Light deck is actually kind of small, but even like the Hermetic Tarot, which is standard tarot size. But the cards, these are the backs. I mean, very busy. Clearly not reversible if you care about that. And the cardstock is really thin, which is unfortunate. I always meant to reback these, you know, put some kind of contact paper on them, and just never got around to it. So that's that. I'm not really noticing the smell so much on them anymore. I think it's finally faded after all these years. This came out. It's got a decent little book with it. Came out from Destiny Books in Rochester, Vermont. And it's woodblock prints. This came out in 1997. It's been out for a while. And the next two are very old. This one of these, I think it's this one, is the Astral Tarot by Mont St. John's. Came out in 1969. So this is like one of the earliest decks out there. Let's see. And I've got the book. It's not entirely intact. The middle page has sort of fallen out. I got a few spreads here. They call this the Gypsy spread. I wish this light would fix itself. Wish sample spread, 35 card spread. And basic meanings. And then the cards are in this little styrofoam thingy. Oh gosh, I hope these are in order. I think they are. They look like, yeah, they just sort of, slide around underneath. Luckily, it's easy to get them out. So it's kind of an off-white background with the black borders. These are the backs. I guess nobody cared about the backs back then. Just really unique, striking art on this. I wonder if I just turn this off. See what happens. Okay, maybe that's better. It's just so psychedelic 60s. I just love it. Oh, my battery is running low. I'll either have to speed this up or finish it later. The chariot looks like some kind of a duck or something. I don't know. I really can't tell what that's supposed to be. Well, that's a very different strength card. I really should get this out and work with it more. It's justice. It looks like a lion's face in the sun. It's kind of got the shape of Leo there a little bit. It wasn't the sun. What was I looking at? Oh, the star. Yeah, sorry. And the minors are pips. I I guess when this came out, the Rider-Waite-Smith hadn't really caught on yet or something. Oh, different cups. They're all different. There was no cut and paste back then. I just think these images are great. Same with the swords, all different. Oops. I think I must have skipped. Pentacles. You know, even those are all dissimilar. How interesting. I have never noticed that before. Well, I don't really bust this deck out and use it much, so. Or really at all. Which is too bad. I think it deserves to be remembered. Very cool deck. I think every once in a while you can find this on eBay, and there was also a version that the cards had like bands of color across them, different colors. It's kind of weird. I like the black and white version, I think, the best. And another one very similar to that, if I can get through this before my battery dies. The 20th Century Tarot. I think this one is copyright 1970. Bills itself as an entertaining and enlightening means of predicting the future. Just plain box. Kind of the same sort of book. I don't think this one actually has a copyright. Oh yes, 1970 by Scoremore Corporation. Some Anaheim, California. I don't think they're around anymore. Looks like we got the same kind of spreads. Whoa. 35 card. This must have been popular back then. The Wish spread, same thing as the other. And they call this the Gypsy spread. Not the Celtic Cross. That's interesting. So this is so 60s. Oh, come on. Pretty amazing that there are still copies of this deck out there in absolutely pristine condition. The Fool looks like he's thumbing his nose at somebody. We got Merlin here. High Priestess. She looks vaguely, I don't know, Greek or Roman or something. Empress. That's a really weird looking Hierophant. Chariot, only one horse. Interesting. Strength, more similar to the Astral Tarot, holding something up rather than fighting back the beast. Oh, that's kind of grisly. What an odd temperance card. I do think this is getting too dark. You see the backs are like grayish, or I should say the backgrounds. That's a different take on the tower. A hand reaching out and snapping it off. Oh, that's the back of the cards. And this also is a pip deck, but not such interesting pips on this one. They look like they're all the same. Okay, so the cups are different. Or some of them are. I wonder how they did this back then. Because, you know, people didn't have computers to just cut and paste like we do now. Oops. These are all the same. We've got a very active king in motion here, not sitting on his throne. The knights are not all mounted. So, that is at least the majority of my black and white decks. I may have had one or two sitting around someplace else, but these are the ones I could find for now. So, yeah, if you want to do a VR to this, that'd be great. If you have some black and white decks, if you're a black and white deck fan. And please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch it. Take care and blessed be.